Hi everyone, I'm Weber Khandelwal and I welcome you all to Simply Learn's YouTube channel. In this session, we will learn about pointers. We shall begin our session by learning what a pointer is and its syntax. After that, we will learn about different ways to access variables. Then we will discuss types of pointers. Then we will dive into its use cases. We will discuss about pointer arithmetics, pointer to a pointer, array of pointers, and some concepts like call by value and call by reference. Post that, we will discuss its advantages and disadvantages. Finally, we will take a glance at what is our key takeaways from this session. But before we begin, make sure you have subscribed to our YouTube channel and clicked on the bell icon so you never miss an update from Simply Learn. So without any further ado, let's get started with what are pointers. A pointer is a variable that points to an address of another variable. It is declared using a star symbol, also called asterisk, and then we allocate a memory of a variable to it. We can access a variable's address using the ampersand symbol in the same manner as the pointer declaration. Let's write a code. We will declare a variable a is equals to 5 and a pointer ptr. Then we will assign this variable a's value to pointer ptr. Now let's write a print statement to directly access the variable's value using variable name. Let's write another print statement to print the value of a using pointer. Let's try and execute this program. As you can see, we have successfully accessed variables value using both variable name and pointers. Let's get back to our slides. Now, let's discuss different types of pointers. First up, null pointer, void pointer, while pointer, and dangling pointer. Let's discuss these in details. First up, null pointer. It is a kind of pointer that points to a null memory. As you can see in the figure, here is a pointer which is pointing to a null memory. To get a better understanding, let's try a simple program in the code editor. Let's write a code. First we will declare a pointer var. Then we will assign its value to null. Now let's try to print this statement. Let's execute this. As you can see, since this pointer points to a null or nothing, that's why it doesn't print anything. Let's get back to our slides. Next, void pointer. When a pointer is created with data type void, then this pointer is called void pointer. If we want to print the variable's value, then we have to typecast this pointer to avoid any error. For better understanding, let's get back to the code editor and try it with a simple code. First, we will declare an integer variable a is equals to 5 and a void pointer ptr. Now we will assign address of A to pointer ptr. Let's write a print statement to print this pointer. Let's run this program. As you can see, we are getting an error. That's because we can't print a void variable. To print this, we have to typecast this variable to integer. Let's do this. We can typecast a variable like this. Now let's print this. As you can see, we can print it now. Let's get back to our slides. Next, while pointer. When we create a pointer but don't initialize it by assigning any memory to it, then this kind of pointer is called while pointer. These pointers can be very tricky. They can even cause a program failure or a segmentation fault. Let's get back to the code editor and try it with a simple code. First, let's declare a pointer ptr. But we will not assign it with any address. Let's write a print statement to print it. This time we will directly print it. Let's execute this. As you can see, we are not getting any results because there is no value assigned to it. Sometimes it may even show segmentation error. Let's get back to our slides. Next, dangling pointer. Let's suppose there is a pointer p which is pointing at a variable. Now, if we deallocate this memory using a free function, then this pointer will point at a free space or a non-existing memory. Then this pointer will become a dangling pointer. To get a better understanding of this pointer, let's try it with a simple code. Let's declare a pointer ptr. Here we will dynamically allocate memory using a malloc function. To do this, we will put int star in a bracket, then malloc function, then in another bracket we will put memory size to be allocated. Now let's declare a variable a and assign its address to the pointer. Now to make it a dangling pointer, we have to deallocate the memory of this pointer. We will use free function for that. Now let's write a print statement to print this pointer. Let's execute it. As you can see, since we have deallocated its memory, that's why it is pointing to nothing. Hence, it doesn't print anything. Let's get back to our slides. Till now, we have discussed pointers, ways to access variables, and types of pointers. Now, let's talk about use cases of pointers. We will talk about pointer arithmetics, pointer to pointer, array of pointers, call by value, and call by reference. Now, let's dive right into it. Let's talk about pointer arithmetics. We can use four arithmetic operations on pointers: increment, decrement, addition, or subtraction of an integer from a pointer. Since pointer operates on addresses, it only makes sense if we apply pointer arithmetics on sequential data structures like arrays or strings. Let's discuss them in detail. First up, increment. If we apply this operator on a pointer, then it will shift this pointer's address to its sequential successor. As you can see in the figure, as we increment the pointer's value, we shift to the next index of the array. Let's get back to the code editor and try it with a simple program. Let's declare an array of size 3. Let's give them some value. We will then declare a pointer and assign it to the array's first element. Now let's write a for loop to traverse this array. In this for loop, we will increment a pointer's value and print this pointer's value to traverse this array. Let's try and execute this program. As you can see, we have traversed this complete array. Let's get back to our slides. Next, decrement. If this operator is applied on a pointer, it will shift this pointer's address to its sequential predecessor. As you can see in the figure, as we decrement this pointer, we also shift to array's previous index. Let's get back to the code editor and try to implement it. Let's declare an array of size 3. And assign it some values. Now let's declare a pointer and assign array's last element's address to it. Now let's write a for loop to traverse this array. In this for loop, we will decrement the pointer's value Also, we will keep printing this pointer's value to traverse this array. Let's try and execute this program. As you can see, we have traversed this complete array from the back. Let's get back to our slides. Next, the addition of an integer to a pointer. If this operator is applied on a pointer, it will leap forward accordingly. If the integer is 2 and our pointer points at the first element, then the pointer will sequentially skip one element and shift to the next element. Let's implement it in the code editor. Let's declare an array of size 7 and assign them some value. Then declare a pointer and assign it to the array's first element. Now let's take an integer n to add in the pointer. Now let's write a for loop to traverse this array. In this for loop, we will increment the pointer's value with integer n and we will keep printing the pointer ptr's value. Let's execute this code. As you can see, we have traversed this complete array skipping one element at a time. Since we have skipped 3 elements, that's why we are getting last 3 values as garbage values. Let's get back to our slides. Next, subtraction of an integer from a pointer. If this operator is applied on a pointer, then accordingly it will leap backward. If the integer is 2 and our pointer points at the last element, then the pointer will skip one element and shift to the previous element. Let's try and implement it in the code editor. First, let's declare an array of size 7 and assign it some values. Then declare a pointer ptr and assign it to the array's last element. Now let's take an integer n to subtract from the pointer. Now let's write a for loop to traverse this array. In this for loop, we will decrement the pointer's value with integer n. Also, we will write a print statement to print this ptr's value. Now let's try and execute this program. As you can see, we have traversed this complete array from back, skipping one element at a time. Since we have skipped 3 elements, that's why we are getting last 3 values as garbage values. Let's get back to our slides. Let's talk about precedence of these operators. Operator asterisk and ampersand have the same priority as the unary operator increment and decrement. These operators are evaluated from right to left. Let's understand this concept with an example. Suppose if a pointer p points to a variable x, then we can swap x with pointer p in that expression. In the first row, we have y is equal to x plus 1, which means we are storing an incremented value of x in y. Similarly, if we replace x with a pointer p, we can store incremented value of pointer in y. In row 2 and row 3, we are incrementing x and storing incremented value in x itself. We can do this with pointers as well. In row 4, we are attempting to execute pre-increment with a pointer p. In row 5, we are attempting to execute post-increment with pointer p. Here we have to put star p in braces because these operators are evaluated from right to left. So to give more priority to pointer p, we have to use braces as they have highest priority. Let's talk about another use case, pointer to pointer. Basically, in this situation, a pointer will point at a variable via another pointer. We declare it with two asterisk symbol. Let's discuss it with an example. Suppose a pointer 1 points to a variable and another pointer 2 points to that pointer 1. This way, pointer 2 will indirectly be pointing to the variable. Let's go to the code editor and try implementing it. First, we will declare a variable var a pointer ptr1 and a pointer to this pointer ptr2. Then we will assign this variable var's address to ptr1 and ptr1's address to ptr2. Now we will write a print statement to print variable var, ptr1 and ptr2. Now let's try and execute this program. As you can see, ptr1 and ptr2 shows variable var's value as ptr2 is pointing to ptr1 and ptr1 is pointing to that variable. So indirectly ptr2 points to the variable var. Thus it prints the variable's value. Let's get back to our slides. Let's discuss the array of pointers. As the name suggests, it is an array that has all its elements as pointers. These pointers can be pointing at another array. It is declared as an array with asterisk symbol. Let's discuss it with the program. First, we will declare an array A of size 3. Then we will declare a pointer array ptr of size 3. Now we will write a for loop to assign A's element's address to ptr's element. Then we will write another for loop to traverse ptr and print its element. Let's try and execute this program. As you can see, it prints the value of array A's elements because array ptr's elements are pointing to array A's elements. Let's get back to our slides. Next, call by value. We don't use pointers in this concept, but it is very important to understand this concept to get better understanding of the next topic, call by reference. In call by value, we call a function and directly pass the variable's value as parameters. In this situation, a copy of those variable is created and get passed into a function as parameters. If we modify these parameters, it will not affect actual variables. Rather, these copies will get deleted as soon as the function body ends. Let's try implementing it in the code editor. Let's write a code. First, we will declare a variable x equals to 100. Then we will write a function call to function func with argument x. Next, we will write a print statement to check if any changes happened due to the function. Now, let's write definition for this function. We will take a void function with argument as x. In this, first we will set x equals to 200. And then we will write a print statement to print this value. Let's try and execute this program. As you can see here, When we get back to the main block from function, its value again reverted back to 10. Because in call by value program, we only pass variables copy into the function, not the actual variables. Let's get back to our slides. Next, call by reference. In this, if we call a function, but this time we pass the variable's address as parameters, then in this situation, actual variables will get passed into the function as parameters. If we modify these parameters, it will modify the actual variables even outside the function scope. Let's try implementing it in the code editor. First, we will declare a variable int x equals to 100. Next, we will write a function call for function func with argument as address of x. Then we will write a print statement to check if any changes happen due to the function. Now let's write definition for this function. It will be a void function with argument as pointer x. In this, we will first set x equals to 200. Then we will write a print statement to print this value of x. Now let's try and execute this program. As you can see, this time variable x's value didn't revert to 100. That's because in call by reference we pass actual variable's address to functions, so it will modify them as well. Let's get back to our slides. During the course of this video, we have learned a lot about pointers. Let's discuss some advantages of the pointers. First up, pointers are useful to access a memory location. Pointers are also an effective way to access the array elements. Pointers are used for the dynamic memory allocation and its distribution. Pointers are also used to build complex data structures like linked list, graph, tree, stack, queue, etc. Now, let's talk about some disadvantages as well. First up, pointers are difficult to understand, so a programmer needs to be careful while handling them. They might raise some errors like segmentation error or access some unrequired memory and cause program failure. If a pointer is pointing to an incorrect value, then it might corrupt memory. Pointers may also cause memory leakage. Also, pointers are slower than variables. At last, let's sum up what we have learned in this session with key takeaways. First up, a pointer is simply a storage location for a data in a memory. We can use pointers to traverse array more efficiently. We can also use function pointers to call a function dynamically. We can perform arithmetic operations on pointers as well. When we define an array of pointers, its elements can also point to function, making it easier to call different functions at once. And this was all for today's session. Hope you guys found it informative and helpful. If you liked this session, then like, share and subscribe. If you have any question, then you can drop them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more from Simply Learn.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.